Happy Easter Sunday to you all. I'm so glad you could join me for a comprehensive and incisive Bulletin Maisha Prime Sunday edition, where we bring you trusted, accurate and bold news from different parts of the country and beyond. Today on our top stories, Wiper Democratic Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has hit out at critics, stating that he is a national leader who has the interest of Kenyans at heart. Also, President Uhuru Kenyatta and First Lady Margaret Kenyatta have called on for renewal of peace, joy and national unity among Kenyans this Easter season. These are some of the stories prepared for you, and of course we have two special segments, My Hustle and Education feature. My name is Millicent Makoha. Welcome. As Kenyans join the world in marking Easter Sunday, President Uhuru Kenyatta and First Lady Margaret Kenyatta have called on for renewal of peace, joy and national unity this Easter season in their message of goodwill and best wishes to all Kenyans. As they celebrate Easter Sunday, the President and the First Lady urge Christians to spread love by extending a helping hand to all the needy, in line with the excessive love exhibited by Jesus Christ at the cross. Brand Guard with more.
Christians across the country on Sunday 17th April celebrated Easter Sunday in commemoration of the resurrection of Jesus Christ. The significance of Easter is Jesus Christ's triumph over death, a symbol in the Christian faith that he conquered death and redeemed humanity from sin. In a message of goodwill and best wishes, President Uhuru Kenyatta and First Lady Margaret Kenyatta have called for renewal of peace, joy and national unity this Easter season. As Kenyans celebrate Easter Sunday, the President and the First Lady urge Christians to spread love by extending a helping hand to the needy, in line with the excessive love exhibited by Jesus Christ at the cross. They wrote, "As we rejoice in remembrance of saving grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, let us not forget the less fortunate among us. Let us deliberately make it our responsibility to spread love by extending a helping hand to the needy this Easter season, in line with the excessive love that our Lord Jesus Christ exhibited by dying for us at the cross." They urge Christians to embrace forgiveness and to pray for unity and oneness ahead of the general elections, saying Easter is a season for sacrifice, just as Jesus was sacrificed for the sake of the sins and peace of mankind. The head of state further urged Kenyans to continue building the country to become a respected nation where people forgive each other, and most importantly, a nation that is at peace with itself. They wrote, "I send you this message of goodwill and best wishes, praying that we will continue with the unity and oneness that binds us together, so that we will continue building our country to become a respected nation that we are proud of, a nation where people forgive each other, and most importantly, a nation that is at peace with itself." Maisha Television, Brian Gad.
And to some politics, Wiper Movement Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has hit out at those whom he say has given him a tribal tag. Speaking during a church service in South Sea on Sunday, Musyoka stated that he is a national leader who is keen on articulating the interest of all Kenyans. Let's have a look.
And indeed, the Lord enabled us to land that job of vice president, which Bishop keeps on saying president, and I think that's okay. I wasn't a true prophet as such, but I know men and women who are being used of God to give direction, spiritual direction. Therefore, church, do not shy away. I once said, "Church, speak your mind," and they gave me a title of a watermelon, because they could not understand how, when the church was saying no to Constitution 2010, how Kalonzo Musyoka, being a believer, born again Christian, they thought at night I was saying no, and during the day I was saying yes. They don't know me. I believe a lot of Kenyans never understood me. Bishop, please pray. Let Kenyans know me as who I am. A man, a sinner, saved by grace. And wishing every Kenyan to be simple and not hate each other. Finally, Constitution 2010, which some of our political leaders vehemently opposed, gives true freedom of worship to every Kenyan. I want to conclude with this. I've said it before, I repeat, it is wrong for any government official from the Registrar General's office under the Attorney General's office to deny any church congregation registration. It is wrong.
Away from that, the United Democratic Alliance is cleaning house following countrywide nomination exercise on Thursday. Now let's take you to the county of Mombasa for the latest from that end. Let's listen to Hassan Omar, who is aspiring for Mombasa gubernatorial seat.
Well conducted across the country. And some of the members here also are members who, of essence, were not successful in the process, but have still decided to be part and parcel of this process. So, as I said, we had convened you here largely to ensure to just first and foremost congratulate not only those who have gone through this first step, but also to those who participated in this whole exercise, and including the UDA members who have given us their choice of the kind of candidates that will represent them in the various levels of electoral competition. And we will by and large hope that these are the men and women in this team who will deliver victory. I want to advise with a lot of respect those who might think that the elections were marred with a certain level of irregularities to please ensure that they to follow the mechanisms. They can follow the mechanisms and appeal directly to the National Dispute Resolution Committee, and they could document, compile and collect their evidence and submit it to this committee for the purposes of review of some of the victories that are in contention. But more importantly, why we have called you here today is to tell you, going by what the word in town has, that Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta have finally settled on a candidate for Mombasa. We are like...
And the government has donated money for free day secondary school education and free primary school education. Education Cabinet Secretary George Magoha says the 19 billion shillings released is part of government's plan to allow school heads enough time to prepare schools for opening ahead of time. At the same time, Magoha has directed parents whose children were placed in day secondary school that are far away from home to immediately report their cases to education officers in their respective areas for appropriate action. Philip Simiyu reports.
As the government and Equity Bank launched another round of Elimu and Wings to Fly scholarship program respectively, it didn't escape the mind of Education CS George Magoha that many parents are crying over what they claimed as unfair Form 1 placement exercise, that many children were placed in day secondary school far away from their homes, admitting that the government is making effort to rectify any mess made during the process.
Children who may have inadvertently been posted to far day schools, I think that would have been a mistake because we made sure that that was not done. If that has been done, I'm going to direct that they report to the nearest education agents in their area so that action can be taken, because like I said, all children must be treated equally.
Magoha said that cases of children not getting the school of their choice, it was due to stiff competition in specific secondary school, which received thousands of applications over their capacity.
Everybody wants to go to the same school. Can you imagine if the 118,000 who chose here reported here?
As the school prepares to resume first-term studies, Magoha has assured early disbursement of government funds to school to smoothen the school programs.
Well, out of the 19 billion, 2-point-something billion is going to free primary school. 16.9 billion or so are going to day secondary school, which means every school will have money before the schools. The money will hit the banks on Tuesday. That's all more than a week before the schools open. So nobody should send a child away that they have no money to run the schools. That will be criminal.
The parents have been called to apply for Elimu and Wings to Fly scholarship program.
The kids can apply online. We'll release the application forms at all the branches and all the agents. And then we'll give the scholars about 6 days to do the applications so that we can then process the application, shortlist them, interview them, and ensure they're in school on 3rd of May.
For Prime News Maisha Television, I'm Philip Simi.
The Kikuyu Council of Elders is pushing to have constituent parties in Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party settle on consistent to choose its aspirant on various seats in Kiambu County. The leaders met with the top leadership and promised to ensure everybody gets involved in the process. Let's have a look.
Tufanyie Jubilee campaign, tufanyie ODM campaign, na kwa sababu Jubilee na ODM ilishikana sasa ni kitu kimoja. Watu wa ODM, watu wa Jubilee sasa ni ndugu na madada. Tumeagana siku ya leo, tumeenda huko mashambani, tumeenda huko nyumbani, tufanye hiyo siasa kuanzia leo.
Na ndio tunasema consensus ianze kwa wards. Kama consensus haitafanyika kwa wards, ni vingumu consensus kufanyika pahali ingine.
Tumeanza kuona kwa nini rais mwenyewe alikosana na mdogo wake. Hiyo ni kutuonyesha hadharani hakuwa anamtumikia, alikuwa anatumikia mambo yake.
Now the Marsabit Council elders and a section of political leaders have urged the government to move with speed and rescue victims of hunger in the county. The elders have said that over 2.5 million residents of Marsabit are in a dire need of help following famine caused by ongoing drought. Here is more.
Watu wa Marsabit wamekosa maisha. Hakuna maji, hakuna chakula. Kila mwaka katika bajeti kuna pesa ya emergencies. Serikali ya county, watu wanakufa kwa njaa, hakuna chakula wananunua sahi. Watu wameanza kufa kwa njaa. Kama kweli inajali, serikali ipeleke rasilimali, watu wasaidike, wasikufe kwa sababu ya njaa katika nchi yao.
Well, with that story, I'm taking a short commercial break. I'll be back shortly. Stay tuned.
When it comes to technical training and research in science, technology and innovation, you can trust Matili Technical Training Institute, whether it's certificate or diploma in institutional management, automotive engineering, mechanical engineering courses, electrical and electronics engineering, information and communication technology, building construction and civil engineering, business studies, among many. We provide the best practical training and theoretical knowledge. Our exams is from the trusted examination bodies, among them NITA, CASNEB, NEC, among others. To apply for admission at Matili Technical College, visit our website www.matilitechnical.ac.ke. You can also call us on 0721 664 708 or 0724 402 786. You can also send your application to PO Box 765204, Kimilili, Matili Technical Training Institute, located in Kimilili constituency in Bungoma. Matili Technical Training Institute, a center of excellence in mechanical engineering. Welcome to Millennium Diploma Teachers Training College. Millennium Diploma TTC has been instrumental in producing diploma teachers for secondary schools in Kenya in sciences, languages, and humanities. Millennium Teachers Training College is located in Musikoma Ward in Bungoma County and is registered to offer diploma in counseling, community health and nutrition, business management, tourism management, artisan in construction technology, artisan in storekeeping, and artisan in catering and accommodation operations. For application and more information, call 0727 626 614 or 0707 542 507. You can also send your email to millenniumteacherscollege@gmail.com. You can visit the facility at Musikoma Ward in Bungoma County. Welcome to Millennium Diploma Teachers Training College. Maisha TV, sasa ni bora zaidi.
Listua. Kama sio kimwili, kiroho.
Yaani ninahisi kabisa hata mimi na wewe tutapokuwa pamoja. Hivi nikifanya kitu chochote ndani kwako itakuwaje?
Maisha Swahili.
Swali hilo halihitaji majibu.
Mdomo mnaushona ndugu yangu. Kama maisha ndo nimeshapata na nimeyapata kupitia bahati yako.
Usidanganyane.
Wewe ndo chanzo cha kumalizia mwanangu maisha.
Ndio Mr. Kanijo bwana. Achiolile kachiola.
Vijana wa kiume sasa walotimia wameguzwa wanawake.
Na sijui matokeo yake wewe mzee kuja kutia dosari maisha yako.
Uzee mwisho Chalinzi hapa alikuja Dar es Salaam wote vijana.
Mimi ninachotaka kujua ni nini ya hatima mahusiano yenu.
Yaani swali hilo ni sawa na kuuliza samaki anapatikana baharini au vipi?
Unaifanya mzaa?
Sikutaka tena kuendelea kuwa fala kama unavyonichukulia.
Tazama, furahia katika Maisha TV.
Alright, welcome back. You are watching Maisha Prime News. Tough times lie ahead of Kenyans as the price of commodities goes up. Brand Guard tells us more in the feature known as Basic Commodities, whose price is set to rise up in the proposed tax.
Tough times lie ahead for Kenyans should Parliament approve the proposed taxes for basic commodities in the Finance Bill 2022. In the bill, the National Treasury proposes to raise excise duty of commodities such as fruit juice, bottled water and imported potatoes.
Away from is clearly we are very concerned about the cost of living, and that's why we are addressing fertilizer, fuel prices. These are areas that we are looking at.
The bill proposes an excise duty of 13.3 shillings per litre of fruit juice and 6.6 shillings per litre of bottled water. Additionally, the price of chocolate is set to go up, with Treasury proposing to 42.29 shillings per kilogram excise duty on white chocolate. This will not be the first time the price of chocolate goes up, as in November 2021, the government increased its excise duty to 20.31 per kilogram from 209.88 per kilogram. The excise duty imposed on imported potatoes, as well as potato crisps and potato chips, is set to go up by 25%, while that of ice cream will go up by 15%, should Parliament approve the Finance Bill 2022. However, prices of commodities such as eggs could go down, as the Finance Bill proposes excise duty exemptions for imported fertilized eggs, also proposed for exemption from excise duty and neutral spirits. For the past few months, prices of basic commodities such as bread and other wheat products have skyrocketed, owing to the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, as the two countries are the biggest exporters of wheat globally. On March 31st, the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics (KNBS) listed 14 household items whose prices have gone up in the month of March due to inflation. Prices of wheat flour white, cooking oil and tomatoes increased by 4.47%, 6.50% and 4.22% in March 2022 respectively. Adding to the pain of motorists who are already enduring the East African nation's worst fuel shortages, Kenya has increased gasoline prices to a record. The cost of gasoline jumped 7.3% to a maximum of 144.62 shillings, while diesel prices surging 8.6% to 125.5 shillings per litre.
Sasa tumeingia kwa mafuta. Vijana sasa ndio tunategemea kazi na tumepata mafamilia zetu. Na bike nyingi za mkopo.
Kwa siku mimi nilikuwa natengeneza hata tenga na 700. Lakini hadi sasa hii hata hiyo 600 kupata ni ngumu, hata 300 kupata ni ngumu. Hakuna mafuta. Imekuwa ngumu. Sasa watu wengine kama sisi tuna loan. Sasa umekosa mafuta siku 2. Hiyo loan italipika kweli jomba?
The changes were announced as a shortage of fuel at filling station entered the third week, with motorists waiting for long hours during day and night to refill. If the budget is approved, the Parliamentary Finance Committee is set to lower the fuel VAT from 8% to 4% through petroleum taxes and levies. Of the proposed 3.3 trillion budget, common incomes will add up to 2.14 trillion shillings, which accounts to 15% of the Kenya's total GDP, from the assessed 1.8 trillion, which is 14.4% of GDP this year. It is therefore no big surprise that the Parliamentary Finance Committee is pushing for the decrease of VAT on fuel to 4% from the present 8% through the petroleum taxes and levies amended in the Bill 2021. Notably, the government is set to face hurdles in the parliament, with leaders allied to Deputy President William Ruto calling out Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani for reading the budget before Parliament approved relevant legislation such as the Finance Bill. The budget was read in advance given the time constrictions posed by the August 9 general election.
We are going to bring a supplementary budget to bring down taxes. Ndio bei ya chakula, bei ya maisha ipande chini. Kwa sababu where we are the moment, bei ya sukari iko juu, bei ya mafuta iko juu. Hatutakubalia bei ya bidhaa ikuwe chini. Ndio maisha ya Mkenya wa kawaida inawiri na ikuwe sawa sawa.
Various Kenya Kwanza leaders led by Deputy President William Ruto has vowed to trash the bill when elected president with the help of their parliamentary caucus through various National Assembly committees.
Budget imesomwa juzi. Hiyo budget inataka kuongeza bei ya maji. Sijui iongeze bei ya mkate. Sijui iongeze bei ya unga. Sijui iongeze bei ya ndudhi. Sisi tunataka kuambia hiyo budget haiwezi kupita kwa bunge. Na ikipita kwa bunge miezi 3 baadaye tutaibadilisha iwe ni budget ya mwananchi wa kawaida. Tunataka William Samoei Ruto akichukua ushukani agushe bei ya bodaboda ambayo imeongezwa. Ile maneno tuko naye ni kuchagua rais ambaye ateremsha bei ya vyakula.
The people of Kenya expected this budget to say something about the cost of gas, to talk about the cost of fuel, to talk about the plight of our farmers in terms of coffee farmers, tea farmers, milk farmers, and farmers across the broad spectrum. The people of Kenya expected this budget to highlight the issue of the cost of living. They were totally blind about that. And therefore, this budget was a banality. It was full of inconsistencies, and clearly they had nothing. They had no mind about the plight of the people of Kenya when drafting the entire highlights and actually the real object.
With the looming general election set to come within a short period to 9th August, Kenyans are worried about short-term political decisions that are likely to have reverberating effects on the lives of Kenyans long after the current government transitions to the next. As a Kenyan, I continue to be concerned by the expansion of fiscal indiscipline being passed by the government, which will leave Kenya in a debt hole that will take us years to come out of. We have been witnessing large infrastructure projects going on in the country, and most are driven by debt. budget is paying tears and debt and a make-or-break affair. Brian Gad, Maisha Television.
Thank you, Brian. And away from that, the jigs of Kenya's vice presidency. Out of the 9 former vice presidents in Kenya's political history, only Daniel Moi automatically rose to become president, and this only happened following the death of Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. Mwai Kibaki had to bid his time to clinch the presidency after the end of Moi's 10 years rule in the multi-party era. Others with ambition for high office, such as the late Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, the late Professor Josephat Karanja, and the late Professor George Saitoti, fell by the wayside. Bushebi Jr. tells us more in the feature known as The Curse of the Deputy Presidents in Kenya.
At the peak of 2017 presidential elections, Deputy President William Ruto, then under the Jubilee Party, headed by President Uhuru Kenyatta, described the opposition coalition NASA as clueless, rudderless, leaderless and disorganized.
Kama Rais Kibaki angekuwa na team, angefanya mambo mengi Kenya hii, lakini aliangaishwa na watu wa nusu mkate na nusu mkeka na sijui nini, mpaka kazi yake akafanya kiasi. Ule bwana kitendawili anataka kutuletea story ya nusu mkate. Mnataka nusu mkate tena?
The stadium in Chuka will be complete. In 3 months' time, the stadium in Moyale will be complete. In 6 months' time, the stadium in Kamarin in West Pokot, which is historic, will be complete. In a couple of months, the stadium in Eldoret will be complete. In Nyeri, the president gave the title. There was a challenge of title. Now we have a title, and now the program has been rolled out. In Kiambu, in another 3-4 months, the stadium will be complete. We have challenges. We have a small challenge in Mombasa because the county government has issues of ownership of the land. Although all the contracts and everything has been signed for, including the tartan for the stadium, is in place. We have a small challenge again in Kisumu because the county government has not relocated the dumping site, which is next to the stadium, and international requirements dictate that you cannot have a dumping site side by side with a stadium. As soon as that is relocated, that process will be complete.
5 years later, nothing better describes the trajectory of his last term as deputy president, as succession politics took center stage unbridled.
Kuna wakati wa kazi na kuna wakati wa siasa. Sasa tunaingia kipindi ya siasa. Kila mtu ako na uhuru sasa.
In the last term of Jubilee government in 2022, it is a script typical of founding President Mzee Jomo Kenyatta's last years in office. The big question is, has the ruling party Jubilee become ineffectual and Kenya become known as the no-party state? What about the allegations by President Uhuru Kenyatta that his deputy Ruto had abandoned his duties, instead began early campaigns to succeed him, wield power and pursue his own political interests, leading to a massive fallout? Welcome to the curse of deputy presidency in Kenya. The first president of Kenya, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, took power after independence in 1963. In 1979, Daniel Moi became president after the death of Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. In December 2002, Mwai Kibaki became the third president after Moi, and in April 2013, Uhuru Kenyatta, the son of Jomo Kenyatta, became the fourth president of Kenya. The Kenyattas have gone into books of history when both a father and a son became presidents 34 years apart. In the two periods, the senior and junior Kenyattas are deputized by Daniel Moi and William Ruto, respectively. The title Vice President has since been replaced with Deputy President. Ruto is Moi's political prodigal son. In presidential succession, the Deputy President is always the focal person because he is a heartbeat away from presidency. Holders of the office are often opposed and humiliated. Kenyan history is replete with scenes of the humiliation of the Deputy President since Oginga Odinga's time. Moi, Mwai Kibaki, Dr. Josephat Karanja, and Professor George Saitoti were no different, nor is Ruto. In fact, many have argued that the position is a cursed one. Until recently, Uhuru had not directly opposed his deputy's political ambitions. He tacitly did so in his public speeches, body language, and through his project Stop Ruto 2022. This is a case of history repeating itself. Deja vu of Moi's tribulations with the status elites around Jomo Kenyatta, who could not fathom how a person like Moi, without pedigree and not from the right ethnicity, could succeed Mzee. The open resistance against Ruto mirrors the very same beaten path that Moi had to endure before eventual ascension to power after Mzee's demise. Save that unlike Mzee, Uhuru is young and in good health, and therefore may play a key role in his succession.
Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga,
na yeye tutatembea na yeye bega kwa bega. Mimi si project yake, hata yeye si project yangu. Tuko pamoja, tunatembea sambamba,
na tumekubaliana katika ile mikataba ambayo tunaandikiana ya kwamba tutaketi pamoja na ndugu yetu ambaye ni captain wetu sasa.
The first term of Uhuru's regime saw Ruto at the center of government, perhaps because it was a coalition government of URP and TNA, and because Uhuru needed him for his re-election. Uhuru once handed over the instruments of power to Ruto when he headed to The Hague to attend the case against him before the International Criminal Court. It is no more. The music has stopped, and so has the bromance tango. The Building Bridges initiative was birthed by the 2017 handshake of Uhuru and opposition leader Raila Odinga to save a country which was falling apart after the latter swore himself in as the people's president following botched presidential election. It has achieved the purpose of taming Raila and allowing Uhuru to finish his term with less turbulence. The unclenching of fists by the two leaders and the BBI process ostensibly excluded Ruto. Apart from Jaramogi Odinga, who took on his tormentors head-on from January 1965 to April 1966 when he threw in the towel, no other vice president has staged a formidable fight to save his place as Dr. Ruto has done. Deputy President William Ruto has come under fire from the Kikuyu Council of Elders for attacking President Uhuru Kenyatta. The elders are on record, led by Wachira Wakiago and Dungu Gaithuma, saying that the DP is too ambitious in his presidential bid. Chairman Kiago said Ruto's pursuit for power is worrying and he risks being cast if he continues attacking Uhuru and his mother Mama Ngina Kenyatta. Of late, Deputy President William Ruto sounds like an injured tiger. He is angry, cornered, and willing to fight those determined to eclipse his political goal.
Hatupangwingwi, meaning singe kuweko serikali ya Jubilee haingetengenezwa. Let us face the truth. Sijui kama tunaelewana.
His only solace is that his position as deputy president is protected by the constitution, although he seems to have lost his place within President Uhuru Kenyatta's inner circle.
Deputy President William Samoei Ruto, you are now out of order, and enough is enough. We will not be behaving in a decent manner if we don't do the decent thing, and that is to inform the speakers that those members have ceased being members of the parties that took them to parliament.
Porojo haimalizi umaskini. Porojo haitibu kansa. Porojo haijengi barabara. Shauri yenu, kila mtu ako na haki ya kufanya vile ataka, lakini Wakenya mjiulize ni barabara gani ambayo tunataka kupitia.
Whereas the presidency is open to any qualified person in a democratic society like Kenya, the deputy president may naturally feel entitled to inherit his boss' job, but this is not always the case. And besides, hardly do kings entertain the talk of succeeding them while they are still alive. They tend to immortalize themselves. Ruto seems to have made peace with the fact that his boss may never support his candidature in the August 2022 elections, at least not for now.
Niko na uwezo wa kusema mimi naona fulani yako na uwezo wa kuendelea pahali ambapo mimi nimefikisha. Ama inenaje jameni?
It is not the first time that a vice or deputy president has found himself in a similar predicament due to succession wars. Moi's Vice President Mwai Kibaki found himself restricted to his native Nyeri district, and few politicians would dare invite him to their districts. The fear among Moi's inner circle was that Mr. Kibaki was capable of building a national image and perhaps become a threat to Moi. But Kibaki faced the humiliation he went through silently and hardly raised his voice until he found out that his position as a politician was under threat during the 1988 Q voting saga. President Uhuru Kenyatta has now officially endorsed the ODM leader Raila Odinga for the presidency. While addressing delegates of the mountain, Uhuru urged his community to back Raila's bid, saying he has the best interests for the country. This has been echoed by his allies and mother Mama Ngina Kenyatta.
Tuwe kitu kimoja na hakuna mtu ambaye atawachwa nje ya serikali ya Raila Amolo Odinga, wote watakuwa ndani.
The president, in an apparent reference to Deputy President William Ruto, said he will have no problem supporting him, but only in future if he reforms. The presidential succession in Kenya is coincidentally a family business that Kenyans are unwittingly drawn into, and family altars speak through spirituality, fermenting into physical manifestations experienced by 5 senses of Kenyans. For Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, I'm Maisha Bijonia.